What's not to love about Apple's iPhone 7 Plus? Its iconic aluminum design is now fully waterproof. Its A10 Fusion processor makes it the fastest smartphone you can buy. The dual-lens camera pulls off amazing DSLR tricks, and iOS has never looked better or been more functional. Add to that Apple's commitment to your security and privacy, as well as its industry-leading customer service, and you have one hell of a smartphone. The impressive 12-megapixel dual cameras are among the most compelling reasons to buy the iPhone 7 Plus. One of the cameras is a telephoto lens that offers 2x optical hardware zoom and up to 10x software zoom. The quality of 2x zoom on the iPhone 7 Plus is just extraordinary. It beats out every other smartphone on the market. You don't lose detail, and your zoomed picture turns out excellent. You can go up to 5x in good lighting conditions without too much noticeable loss in quality, which is still better than you can say of any other smartphone's zoom. Apple really hit it out of the park in terms of performance with the A10 Fusion processor. It's the fastest smartphone in benchmarks, leaving every Android phone in the dust. Even though it has less RAM, the iPhone 7 Plus is smoother, slicker, and more efficient than any Android phone. The battery life is a solid day and a half, which is equal to, or more than, every other phone on this list. It even comes standard with 32 GB of storage, which is a big upgrade from 16 GB, though not as great as last year's 64 GB option. I've personally tried every Android phone on this list, and no matter how good or innovative they are, I always go back to the iPhone, and the iPhone 7 Plus is the best one yet. Apple is now one of the few manufacturers that is still making a phone that's smaller than 5 inches. The iPhone 7 is a better phone than the iPhone SE, sports the same 4.7-inch, 1334x 750 pixel Retina screen as the SIXS, and comes wrapped in a very slim aluminum body. The biggest difference is that this year's iPhone 7 is water resistant with an IP67 rating. In other words, you can drop it in 1 meter of water for 30 minutes and it's safe from dust particles. There are even 2 new black finishes for those who want a darker look. Apple also upgraded the rear camera to a 12-megapixel shooter with a larger sensor and aperture. The front-facing shooter got an upgrade to 7 megapixels, too, so your selfies will look better than ever. The speedy A10 processor and 2 GB RAM keep things moving, and iOS 10 is a revelation for iPhone users. It takes 3D touch to another level and notifications are now interactive. It's a truly incredible device for iOS users who still want a slightly smaller phone. Battery life is slightly better on the iPhone 7 than it was on the iPhone SIXS, but it will only last you a day, so you may want to pick up a battery case. Sure, the case will add some bulk to your phone and it's not ideal, but if you're desperate for more battery, you'll want one. Nonetheless, the iPhone 7 is the best small iPhone you can buy, so if you're not into photos, but still want an iPhone, this is our pick for you. Google's Pixel XL is the best Android phone we've ever used. It's the first Android phone in history that can fully compete with the iPhone in several key areas: security, software updates, customer service, and software design. It's so good, we nearly named it the best smartphone of the year. Indeed, if you're an Android fan who will never buy an iPhone, the Pixel XL is the best phone you can buy. Here's why. Google built the Pixel XL from the ground up with partner HTC. Because of that, it was able to perfectly integrate hardware and software together into one excellent package, just like Apple does with the iPhone. That approach, plus the Qualcomm Snapdragon 821 chip and 4 GB of RAM, make the Pixel the most powerful Android phone you can buy. The Pixel XL's 12.3-megapixel camera is nearly as good as the iPhone 7 Plus, though it doesn't have 2x optical zoom or the dual camera tech to pull off accurate lens blur. Its lens blur effect is good, but the iPhone's is just better. The Pixel XL may be as expensive as an iPhone, but it is well worth your money. Because it has timely software updates, it will last you longer and keep your data safer. It's also part of a larger product ecosystem that Google is building, so it has a bright future. We are excited to see how the Pixel phone series evolves. Small and mighty Android phones are hard to come by these days. The Google Pixel stands alone in a sea of jumbo-sized phones as the most powerful, small Android phone you can buy. Its 5-inch, 1080p screen is hardly petite when you compare it to the bite-sized iPhone SE, but it looks positively adorable next to its bigger brother, the Pixel XL. The Pixel's aluminum body is offset by a flashy glass panel at the top that will catch your eye and your fingerprints. It is easy to hold and use one-handed, and the fingerprint sensor on the back of the device adds security and the convenience of mobile payments. Its 12.3-megapixel camera takes stunning photos that are on par with the Galaxy S7, LG G5, iPhone 7, and other leading phones. There's even a neat lens blur effect that's powered by software and the ability to create GIFs. Battery life is a solid day, and you can quick charge it up to full in 15 to 30 minutes with Google's charger. Best of all, the Pixel gets automatic software updates directly from Google, so your phone will always be up to date and perfectly safe. Google also offers 24/7 customer support right in the settings menu, so you can reach out to Google immediately if you have a problem. Motorola's Moto G series has been widely popular thanks to its sub-$200 prices. The new G4 is the first to make its debut after the Lenovo acquisition, and while it's a little pricier, it certainly can't be left off this list. For $200, the Moto G4 offers a 5.5-inch, 1080p screen, a Qualcomm Snapdragon 617 processor, and 2 GB of RAM. You can opt for 2 GB of RAM and 2 GB of storage, or upgrade to the Moto G4 Plus with 4 GB of RAM and 4 GB of internal storage, but that prices you out of the $200 category. Thankfully, if storage is an issue, you can upgrade it via the microSD card slot. The base Moto G4 doesn't come with a fingerprint sensor, and it has a lower 13-megapixel rear camera, but it features the same 5-megapixel selfie camera as the G4 Plus. It also comes with a 3000 mAh battery, which should be more than enough to last you a day. The better camera and fingerprint sensor, which adds security and convenience, put the G4 Plus ahead of the Moto G4 in our books. However, when you're really on a tight budget, $50 makes a big difference. That's why we've included both the Moto G4 and the G4 Plus. The Plus is our preferred Moto G4, but if you really can't spare the extra $50, the Moto G4 will serve you well, too. Samsung has certainly made the Galaxy S7 Edge the next big thing at 5.5 inches. The phone is a beautiful addition to the Korean company's lineup, and a brilliant successor to the Galaxy S6 Edge. The S7 Edge improves on its predecessor in every way, with an always-on screen, better Tasks Edge features, and an IP68 waterproof rating. You'll also find Quick Charge 3.0 helps give you juice faster, and the battery life is decent. The brilliant 1440p display has 550 pixels per inch, and is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 820. It has 4 GB of RAM, and the S7 Edge comes with a minimum of 2 GB internal storage. While the battery isn't removable like LG's G5 or V20, you still get access to a microSD card slot, allowing for up to 200 GB of extended storage. The S7 Edge also improves on the camera, which boasts 12 megapixels, super fast focusing, and an aperture of f/1.7. It even performs pretty well in low-light scenarios. If you can get past Samsung's clunky user interface, the Galaxy S7 will leave you more than satisfied. If you want a Samsung phone, this is the one to get now that the Note 7 has crashed and burned, literally. However, it's important to note that the Galaxy S8 will likely arrive in March, so if you're not in a rush, you may want to wait or go with another phone from our list. ZTE has done it again with the Axon 7. This all-metal device borrows a few specs from its predecessor, the Axon Pro, such as its 5.5-inch AMOLED screen and a 2560x1, 440-pixel resolution, but it improves on it in almost every other way. You'll find it powered by a quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 processor with 4 GB RAM and a whopping 4 GB internal storage. Thanks to microSD card support, you'll also be able to upgrade to an additional 128 GB of space. It's a high-powered flagship for a fraction of the price. The performance is faultless, which is in part thanks to the nearly pure Android software on board. ZTE added a few extras with Mi Flavor UI, but the overall experience is similar to Android on a Nexus. ZTE says it's committed to updating the Axon 7 from Android Marshmallow to Nougat in time for Google's Daydream VR, because the Axon 7 is the first phone that was built with Google's new standards in mind. The Axon 7's 3140 mAh battery should last you a day, and ZTE has gotten rid of the dual camera setup from the Pro and replaced it with a 21-megapixel rear camera and an 8-megapixel selfie cam. The cameras take solid pics that are nearly as good as the ones you'll take with a Samsung Galaxy S7. The Axon 7 also boasts stellar audio capabilities with 2 front-facing stereo speakers and Dolby Atmos technology. It's one of the best-sounding phones you can buy with those speakers and high-res audio support. These extra features are what put the Axon 7 over the top to edge out the great OnePlus 3 for our top pick in the $400 phone range. The Axon 7 also boasts stellar audio capabilities with 2 front-facing stereo speakers and Dolby Atmos technology. It's one of the best-sounding phones you can buy with those speakers and high-res audio support. These extra features are what put the Axon 7 over the top to edge out the great OnePlus 3 for our top pick in the $400 phone range. The only downside is that you can't buy it at your carrier, so you'll have to grab one online from ZTE. ZTE does offer an installment payment plan, so you can pay about $20 a month for a few years to own the Axon 7 just like you would at your carrier.